Hey everybody, Captain Bob here, and I'm going to show you what I learned with Dark Souls. The game's kind of hard, and so this little bit that I'm going to show you is because of rote memorization, and hopefully it'll help you out. So basically what I'm going to show you is what I do to capture souls. If you look in the bottom right hand corner, I have 4,960 souls. And because this is such a hard game, if you die, all your souls disappear, and souls are essentially an equivalent to experience points in this game. So they're important to have. That's how you level up. The good thing is, when you do lose your souls, they all turn into this big green ball and stay in the same spot where you died, and so you can go and pick them up, assuming you don't die again in the process. And so what I'm going to do is just show you from this spot where I'm at, and you can look at here at the bonfire. We are at the High Wall of Lothric, and I'm just going to show you what I've learned, and hopefully this will help you out if you're in this area, because, like I said, it's a super hard game, and it's good to know where the enemies are, and the only real way I have figured out how to progress in the game is through rote memorization, kind of like an old school game like we had to do with Mega Man and all that crazy stuff back in the day. Okay, now sometimes this happens, and I did a bad job. Yeah, sometimes things are a little unpredictable. Usually that guy doesn't move very fast, but he decided to come running. And, okay, now I'll throw fire at this guy. There we go. Well, I got two at a time. Alright. Now this part's just kind of fun, because I've got all the threats out of the way. And so if you sneak up behind somebody and hit the right bumper, you do a critical hit. And sometimes you miss. Oh, a pillage's corpse. I got a broken straight sword, which isn't very useful, but I can sell it for 3 souls. Alright, there's a guy down here who's going to get critically executed. Alright, stick my sword right up his bum. And I'm going to do it again. It's weird how the undead people still bleed. You'd think that that wouldn't happen. Oh, a Titanite shard. That's very important, because if I get enough of those, I can use them to upgrade my weapons. And let me go back and show you this. You can leave little messages for yourself and for other people, because it connects online. Like, I just put a little funny thing about saying, hitting them in one swoop, because you get to kill a lot of people in one shot here. I'll show you some of the other messages I've left for people, and we can look and see what other players have left for us. Ooh, double. What I had been doing up until recently is carrying a shield in my left hand. But I realized that there's a spot that I can't really get past, and I happen to randomly find a Rapier, which is really fast and like stabby. And so I have a torch now, and something that helps me heal. And instead of a shield, I have this. And so I'm doing an experiment to see if having that instead of a shield does a better job. So a lot of it is just knowing where to stand. And here's another message, and I actually made this one. If I stand on it, it says, try ambush. And it's me pointing over here, which means I should come over here, and the reason is I want to ambush this guy without him seeing me. And I'm going to have to throw 2 balls of fire at him, but that's okay. Alright, and I've got a sword, and yeah, just a little bit ago I found this random spear. I haven't really used it yet, so we'll stick with what we know. And this guy is just kind of crying or something here, and we'll get him with the sword, and okay, I almost needed to stab him with the other one there, but I didn't have to. Alright, then run over here, get some deserter trousers, and there's another message, and I left this one. It says try front, and it points up here. I wonder what that means. What it means is if you stand out here and you look at that big old dragon, he gets to breathe some fire, and then you move out of the way. Where's his fire? I thought I saw some fire coming out of him. Come on, there we go. Then you move out of the way, and he kills all sorts of stuff. And if you notice, in the bottom right-hand corner, my soul's increased. So basically, when that dragon kills people, I get credit for the souls. And this one guy that's left, I'm going to actually stay here and spend a little bit of time because I get 80 souls for him. Okay, so that's done. Now it's time to switch back to my fireball. And go down the ladder here. Okay. Now if I wanted to, I could use a torch to look around, but I don't need to. Okay. Now, this part, you gotta be kind of sneaky. Throw the fireball, lock on this guy. Get a little closer. Might need to stab him. Yep, stab, stab, stab. Alright, this other guy tries to throw arrows at you. Yeah, sometimes I'll get hit with one. And then I need to back up because the dragon comes. And, ooh, look, his body left me a thing. Some more trousers. I back up again, and then I want to look down the walkway there because the dragon kills more people. Let's see what I wrote for people here. Try dragon. Okay. That was for people who didn't realize that this was a trick. And it took me a while to figure it out. Okay. So he killed all the people. And that is pretty much what I do for, trying to level up and get souls. I'm not quite done yet. Alright, come back up here. And like I said, there's a lot of rote memorization. It took me several, lots and lots of times before I was able to figure all this stuff out. And use a fireball on this person right there. Can't quite lock on. There we go. Now, the people with the lanterns, if you get too close to them, they'll start making noises, and that makes these guys who are just sort of hanging out doing nothing, it makes them active. And then they come after you. And it becomes a lot harder, because when they do nothing, you can just kill them without any difficulty whatsoever. And when they are alerted to your presence, that is a different story. And one of these guys I can't kill with one hit, so we're going to get him and then get him with the other sword. Yeah. That was a good move on my part, I think. Getting rid of my shield and having the other sword. And this guy do the same thing too. Okay. He died with one hit that time. Okay. Assess the battlefield here and make sure there's no bodies to loot. Come up here, and then there's going to be a guy. Got to jump back down the stairs and get him. And one last body, and he's done. Make sure he doesn't have any items. Nope. And then I just trek back. And I really didn't get hurt that much. And in fact, the only time I got hurt was when the guy at the very beginning there kind of ran at me and could dodge my fireball, which only happens maybe 1 out of 10 times. I think I got a little too close to him or ran a little too fast. And then you go here, and every time you rest at a bonfire, it refills all of your stuff. Your health and your potions, and it also, though, refills the enemies. So this guy that I killed at the very beginning, well, he's back. And I killed him again. And so what I would need to do is just, run through what I just did a few times to get up enough souls to go level up, which we will do now. And then I can try the next part of the game, the next stage in that castle area. I've unlocked a fire pit, and I can go there, and then it's a lot harder, and I don't have that area memorized as well yet because I've only tried it a few times. Because it's incredibly frustrating when you have a bunch of souls, and then you die, and then you can't get back to your souls. So I kind of am a little more cautious and would rather spend time farming souls and doing things repetitively instead of just making myself angry at the game. But you talk to this lady, and she will let you level up. And so basically, it'll show you right there where it says required souls. It's the third line down. I need 5,915. Fortunately, I have over 6,000. And so the only thing I get to do, though, is pick one attribute, and I'm going to increase my vigor, which increases my HP, which I should have been doing for quite some time, except I was increasing my luck instead. Probably because I'm an idiot. Confirm. Yes, we're going to want those souls. And I'm going to go check out and see if I can upgrade my spear. I'm not sure if I can. Those Titanite shards or whatever they're called, if I have 2 of them, I can upgrade it. And I'm not sure if I have 1 or 2. No, I only have 1. Okay. So that wouldn't help. I don't know where that is. Yeah. If I get 1 more of those, then I can increase it, and it'll have a strength of 150. I think I'll use the spear, at least attempt to use it on some heavily armored knights in the next area. But we're not going to go and get into that because I don't really have it memorized, and I'll die repeatedly, and you don't care about that. So anyway, this was just a really quick rundown of Dark Souls 3 and this particular area. It's the first area after the tutorial. And so hopefully you learned how to beat that first little bit and won't have to do it as many times as I did. Alright guys, feel free to subscribe and definitely give me some comments. Let me know any tricks that you've learned about this game. It's incredibly hard. One game of the year for RPGs in 2015. So it's definitely a quality game. It's just tricky. But anyway, have fun playing, and I will see you next time.